Are you one of the people who believe that Dr. Milton Obote and Amin were better presidents than President Museveni has been?
Yes and no. When you look at the UPC policies at independence, they were equitable. They were high class. They were true to the manifesto. Because Obote 1 had a common man's charter. The common man's charter. What were they going to do? They were going to fight ignorance, disease, and poverty. They set up the infrastructure to do it. What did they do? They put up schools. They put up hospitals. This government is fighting the same things: ignorance, disease, and poverty. So what have they chosen to do about poverty? They have said, give people money, 1 million shillings. PDM. Obote said, no, set up cooperatives, fund the cooperatives, let people produce and let us buy. There's a policy divergence there. Margaret, health, disease, fighting disease. So do what? Let every constituency have a hospital, what they call a health center for. So you go to Bugabla South, the hospital is Namwendwa, where I grew up. I can ably tell you that the one under Obote is 100 times better than the one which is there. Because there was a functional health service. There was even an ambulance. An ambulance, not a pickup. An ambulance. There's a difference between a pickup and a van and an ambulance. There was medicine all the time. There was staff 24/7. Today, what do you find? I don't have to ask you, what do you find? You will go to Kinkizi Hospital, Health Center, it's a mortuary. Those hospitals, Bujiri, Kayunga, referral hospitals, the special location. You will go to Atuturu, you find the same services. You will go to Kayunga. There's one in Abim. Go to schools. You'll go to Chibuli. You'll go to Nabisunsa. You go to Wairaka. You go to Nabingo. You want same standard. I read education system limwe yaba na abakulu ne yaba ablido ne yaba ebikado. So which government was better? Which one? The answer is in the service delivery. The road network. Road safety. National planning. You know? They were better for the few years that they served. Look at the 40. Do a balance sheet of the 40 years. Go to the human rights. On that scale, I think the politics was bad. The politics was bad.
So politically, President
the politics was nothing at all. But the other one was bad.
Okay.
There are times I failed to measure But I'll tell you that the other one had very bad elements. People were killed. But the blood that has flown under Museveni's 40 years is a lot more and a lot more intensive and a lot more widespread. There's blood everywhere. 20 years of northern Uganda. 5 years of Luwero. How many years of Kasese? Renzori, West Nile, Teso. The kidnaps today are as bad as the kidnaps then. Here, these ones even with a glee. But I can't also blame them because they did not have a constitution of their own. Was made under President Museveni. Ni mwene yo na yajinanye na ajikutula kutula. That is where the anger is. If you bayendo okufuga by decree atukobere bukobere, we are good to go. Ngatumana nti okay, the rules have changed. What else do we do? Aye tulikulowooza nti tulitambuza Uganda kumateeka bene getwekoleire kumbe omusaadha yayuza ira yatolamu empapula edindi akoleye yafuuka ni semateeka mwene ate yabyeganira namu ng'azira munakutya n'obutemu obuliwo buti. Because even the world also has changed. There are different expectations. If twali tusinga Singapore bugaiga nguli try to jidira loza nguli tukomaga in this beautiful land. That was 1971. And you could jump in one. Nguli tuliga.
They would be far.
Ayebona batuletere edirwaire that evadava munsiko sirimu yava munsiko buli kirwaire ekitugwirire wakobotikale sente da sirimu dona the twafuna, we would have set up a perfect health infrastructure. Is it achobala? Wakobotikala kodi kasomero kyakali ewaimwe katukole akembula muti ntokotokwa. I can't even pronounce that. Nkokotokwa. As you can hear, nkokotokwa. Kasomero kali awo kavumbera na kabanene na kafu bayira mu bwamko mbuzi holiday time weboti an abandoned. Very sad.
Honorable, let's talk about Dr. Cheza Besje, Honorable Elias Lukwago, and Hajo Bedi Utalia. I'm sure you know these people very well, each of them.
If I didn't know them, why would you talk to me?
What is it that the public doesn't know about them?
You know everything. You know that they are innocent.
It's the Mulengera Media platform, and my name is Agreba Babruba to moderate today's program. Today we are having a one-on-one with Honorable Salaam Musumba, one of the great leaders in Uganda's history that we've ever had, and she's one of the leaders in the PFF. So today we are here at the headquarters in Katonga Road, Kampala, to have a word with her. Honorable, first say hi to the people before we continue.
Yes. Hello everybody watching us. Thank you for seeking knowledge and for keeping up to date with events as they happen. From the People's Front for Freedom perspective, I am Proscovia Salaam Musumba, and I am the Speaker of the People's Front for Freedom.
Okay. Honorable, you're someone who has been in Uganda's politics for decades, and most of your admirers celebrate you as someone who has been consistent with your values. how have you managed to remain uncompromising for all these years? Because you've had several generous offers from to go and serve in Museveni's government, but you've consistently said no. Also, how true is that? Those are two questions in one.
Too many fuzzy thoughts and ideas. One, I am me. I don't suffer from identity crisis. I do not suffer from seeking approval, and therefore I'm rooted in who I am and what I believe in. I have a background of a non-political character, but the events of my growing up impacted me a lot. Growing up under all the different governments of independence, and seeing how elders and adults treated themselves politically, it created in my subconscious a desire to be part of a new set of leaders that were honest and worked diligently for the public good, and understood that the public good is a political good that we can all grow and thrive on. And so those principles growing up and being ingrained in my head and my subconscious have continually led me to the things I do. And even when I make mistakes, I acknowledge those mistakes and I look for better solutions.
Okay.
But also to tell you that I was attracted to politics because of the people that brought the new breath of politics in 1986, and I thought it was a great group that I needed to support and work with to build a country that was competitive, that was resilient, that was viable, and that is what drives me. I haven't been offered anything. I think people believe I should, but I haven't been offered anything to work with government. I haven't been. Maybe it has been offered in a manner that I could not relate with. Because if somebody wants to work with me, they give me an offer and I make a choice. And I tell you that I have never been given an offer from government to work for this country. I haven't. I have been a member of parliament for 10 years, 1986 to 2006. I have also been a district chairman, 2012 to 2016. And of them all, my best investment was in building the competence of people, the dignity of people, to build their self-worth, and also giving them satisfaction that they are good enough, and therefore they should serve without ever feeling inadequate. So that's what maybe the people you describe talk me about. But I am a strong believer that there is space for all of us, and that Uganda can work for all of us. Okay. Yeah. And that I will carry with me to my grave. Okay. Yeah.
Honorable, some people say you're such a solid leader because you went to good Catholic schools.
Yes, that too.
Yeah, and that has helped you at least to uphold your
values. It hasn't helped me. It formed me.
It formed you.
Yes.
So honorable,
it formed me in character, in values, in principles, and the biggest character I carry with me is that I should live simply. I'm not complicated in my living. I live a simple life, and that simple life gives me satisfaction.
What are some of these schools you went to, and what did you learn there that has helped you, that maybe has guided your journey of politics and life in general?
Well, I started from my home school. It's called Chidichi Primary School. Chidichi Primary School is in Namwendwa sub-county. It's now a Namwendwa Town Council in Bugabula County in Kamuli District.
And that's the same school my mother went to.
You see.
Well, yeah.
And that school formed me largely because it introduced me to the community in which I have lived and in which I have offered leadership. So, like, I know everybody from the family, from the grandfather level, and so I'm anchored in the community. I know the community's history. I knew the people who have built the community, people who have hurt the community, and I now see emerging citizens within my community, and therefore I have a history with it. Then I went to boarding school, St. Teresa Boarding Primary School, Namagunga, and I was there from 1971 to 1977, I think so.
1971 to 77.
Yes, and it's a school that taught me fairness. This is a school where the rich had their girls educated. I can tell you, I don't have to tell you all of them, but the biggest one was that President Idi Amin Dada's children were there, 8 of them. And so you can imagine ministers and what. And it was a school with just 300 pupils.
300 by then?
Yes, only 300 or so. So each of us knew the other. We even knew each other's parents. And this is a school where you only carried a bucket with your personal effects, your underwears and your night dress. That was all. The rest of the things were provided in the school. So we had a Sunday uniform, a day uniform, and a class uniform. And so it treated us as children in spite of wherever we came from. And that gave me this character I carry with me, that anyway, who are you? We are the same. Okay?
Yes.
I mean, Idi Amin was a loving parent, and he loved us all as well.
Okay.
You can imagine.
They
describe. That's why I've been very reserved about talking about the Idi Amin I knew.
Yes.
Because the Idi Amin, as a family person, a man who loved his children, that if he was flying over from Kampala to Jinja to prepare for the Organization of Africa Union meeting that happened in Jinja in 1976, he would land to say hello to his children
at the school.
And then the whole village would pour into the school, and there would be commotion, like all opportunists are. You know?
I know.
Because he would land at school in the playground, and then he would come. The school had a school band, and of course there was all these instruments. Our headmistress was an Irish sister, Sister Genevieve, and so we had these instruments of the Scottish type. We had the accordion, we had all the flutes, all the tambourines, all those things. We had them. And so President Amin loved the accordion. So he would come by and we'd play the band, entertain him, then he would play back at us like that. And there's a time whenever he had big guests, we would all be welcome. For instance, King Faisal visited. And because King Faisal wouldn't detour from the main road, we were asked to go and greet him at the main road. The geography of Namagunga is such that on the other side, every morning you smell the green tea, kasaku. And because you are on an opposite hill, there was always fresh air. And so we went down the road and we greeted His Majesty King Faisal. And because I was a friend of the Idi Amin children, there was one called Salaam Sida.
Salaam Sida.
And so Salaam Sida and Salaam were friends, you know. So they would always introduce me to their father, just casually like that.
So you got a chance to speak to him?
It wasn't a chance. I was there. I was a child among children. And even on Idi Day, for instance, the band would, and I was a member of the band of the school choir, the band would go to entertain him at State House Entebbe. And we would carry food afterwards from Idi and soda. And soda was a scarcity then. And so we would carry those things and bring back to the school for all other children to also share in the Idi, because he wouldn't take all of us to State House Entebbe. This Nakasero was called just a command post. Nakasero. Yes, the State House was in Entebbe. So we would go there and get spoiled, take soda, belch, even venture into washing our hands with, just to prove that we just partook of her. So that's why I'm not excited about Simanyi people have gone to State House, Simanyi presidents. I'm not excited. As a child, it doesn't make sense to me. And if you tell me about big people's children, I know that I lived with the fairest and best children from very good families in the Bucks. Very, very high class families. And I know how they used to behave. I mean, there was a family that were Kweyas. I mean, there were Kweyas. The Bataringayas. The Ambires. You know? Big the Rukubas. I mean, huge. You know? The Navas, Navagesiras. You know? The Kalimalis. The Santo Chengs. I mean, everybody. I walk down the street here in Kampala and I know everybody from the high and mighty. But so what?
So Salaam Musumba is really a big girl because you chilled with the big girl since childhood.
Correct. Correct. So then I crossed over to Mount St. Mary's College, Namagunga. And you know Namagunga. Mount St. Mary's College. And in primary school, it didn't matter whether you were rich or what. You had to finish all your eats in the first week of school. So if you brought, they used to bring them kiosks. There was a family that was the Kaukas, the Nalikas. You know, they'd bring stuff. You know, kids who they'll bring a Volkswagen full of grab. And me from Namwendo, I'm coming with my tree top and a packet of Maria biscuits, you know? But when you get into the school, you're swamped, you are nothing. People are talking about big things in their homes, how they had cookers, how they were, and you still want, you can start drawing pictures. A cooker, a what? In my movie, microwaves weren't there. So the biggest thing was a cooker. There were ovens, baking and stuff. Even namwendo byagana mulikuli amboli mulikwelira dumai mu mufumbe. We were never that class. By the way, we were of a different class. Actually, living from my village, the middle class then were people who were teachers, who were health providers. They had been trained, they had been prepared as leaders. So, if at that time my father could get a brand new car, 0 mileage, from what is this called? Hire purchase, without being anybody but a medical assistant of Namwendwa Health Center. And his entitlement was to get a new 0 mileage car on hire purchase. And the car comes in, we're talking about 1971. And the car moves from Japan to Namwendwa. 0 mileage. I mean, that is the kind of life that was countrywide in the civil service. A very well-maintained, well-trained civil service. So, if you have brought your kiosk of grab, you given 1 week, eat it and finish it. The rest which you can't eat, they collect it all together, they take it to the dining room, they share it out to everybody. Week 2, you have all gone back to class. No distraction. That's when you are thinking about food which you left in your suitcase. You had no suitcase, you only had a bucket. And that bucket was really so that you don't spread any skin diseases around.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I crossed over to secondary school, then we got in also people, children from other schools. So we got a bigger family. A bigger family, Kitante, Nakasero. Those were the schools that were bringing in. Then all the Catholic schools would also bring in children. So it was largely a Catholic community. Our headmistress was Sister Kefas. We had also Sister Aquinas, Sister Moira, Sister Bachman, Sister, and Father Willan, Father Fleskin, Father Wu. So that was the community. So that was the community. That community teaches you fairness, self-respect, self-worth, tobandagana, how to manage yourself, how to manage grief, how to manage limited resources, how to be kind. Actually, they prepared us for the wrong country.
Okay.
I had to change. In adult life, I said, listen, some of those things, people will take advantage of us. And I just flipped.
Okay.
Yeah. But the software remained.
Namagunga.
From Namagunga, I went to university. University, I did a Bachelor of Arts in Social Work, Social Administration.
Which university was that?
Makerere, that was the only university, and that was the year 1983 to 86. And contrary to what President Museveni...
1986, the president was becoming president as we were just completing
yes,
his studies.
We were the first graduates he made of his regime. Contrary to what his public outbursts about courses, social work. You know, he denigrates the social work. He does not know that he would never have qualified for that course. Because that course took the best, the cream, de la cream. If you didn't have an ABC, an ABB, or a AAA, you never got a chance to get there. That professional course had only 40 students in an entire country to save 40 of us. It was a professional course. It's not this diluted kunkumala things that some people do. No. So after that, I went to the University of Nottingham. I did a master's in policy, in social policy and planning, but I also did another master's in fiscal planning. But I never got an award for it because my scholarship from Ford Foundation was for one course. But because I had so much space and the course was not as challenging as I wanted, I asked that I do two.
So you did 2 master degrees?
Yes, at Ago I did.
Okay.
And I graduated for one. But I carry the knowledge in my head from there.
Okay.
So then I worked for the Red Cross. I worked for the Red Cross for 10 years.
For 10 years
From 1987 until I went to Parliament. And that too shaped me. Because Uganda was coming from a war zone, a war period in 1986. So rehabilitation and resettling communities became part of the jobs I was doing in the Red Cross. Luwero, Kapeka, Bamananika, all those places. And then we shifted as the wars were coming. Then we went to Teso, then we went to West Nile. Then I was heading a program called HIV/AIDS prevention. And all of us were new in this area. So I worked with people like Dr. Eric Eriki. He's from Teso. Fantastic doctor. And I also worked with many, Dr. Sam Okware, Mr. Ochello, there was Jonathan Gaifubas, and many people, Dr. Namara. That is the team we worked with. Dr. Semambo, Dr. Ambide, Dr. yeah, many doctors. So I ended up being within the medical profession again, because my father, as a medical assistant, had hoped that I'll be a doctor, and I didn't like it. I disappointed him, but then destiny took me back into the medical line. And I headed that program of HIV/AIDS for that time until I burnt out. I got tired. I just got tired. Because the HIV/AIDS we were dealing with then, my God, you would go home sleepless. And so we were also doing blood donor recruitment, finding blood, taking it to the blood bank and testing it and making it available. So it was a job on the run. My last station was Arua when Sudan got into trouble. And Sudan, people came running from Juba to Arua. And so at Red Cross, when its first mandate becomes the necessity, serving within communities under war, so the rest of it is held on pause. So I ended up in Arua. We flew to Arua. That was around 1989. 87. We flew out to Arua to respond to the people fleeing from war. And I found, you see, you become statistics when war comes. So it doesn't matter who you are. You are just given a kit, a survival kit, a tent, saucepans, blanket and what. And so I found this guy who was all gold, gold rings. And true, he had been the regional medical guy in Juba. He spoke fantastic English. Everything about him was class. But he was in a refugee camp. And there was some of these guys who were his patients maybe at some point. They had run with a maize mill, a diesel one. And it was making noise at the corner of his head port. And I looked, I said, man, we must work hard never to be refugees or internally displaced people. And that's when it crossed my mind. I said, listen, I'm not going to be in Red Cross to wait to deal with the consequences of war. I'd better jump into politics and change the country, never to have people displaced, never to have refugees. Because being a refugee is the worst state of humanity. People defecate everywhere. By the time you set up order, distressed people, you can't tell them to do things on the first day of arrival, the first week. You only create order when they've settled down, maybe after a week.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is partly what drove me into politics. To not to be at the tail end, the receiving end of the consequences of bad government, but to join politics and be part of the good governance that avoids displacement of people. That avoids, remember, we are coming from Luero, now we have just been to Teso, now we are going into West Nile, all those things. The entire country had stress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Olwomazo okusalawo nti you're joining politics, where did you start from?
Ekirowoozo ekyokuba mu politics was latent, kyali munda. Nga ndi kitoola ku byembo ine mbiseemu mu kugaba obuyambi ng'omukozi wa Uganda Red Cross Society. So in 1988 to 89 nali njire kusoma Nottingham. So njokwira ndidukira Nairaku at some time, because I was doing my research here. I was doing my research on the role of credit loans on rural development, and I was doing a case study of the Uganda Commercial Bank Rural Farmers Scheme. So that was my research topic, and I was using the Grameen Bank model to understand how this can be a tool, financing can be a tool of rural development. So bino byemugaya ntandikwa byona byona ebyo mbiringirira wamanoti ekyo tekijakola wamanoti awo bali ebisaawo bindi because bino ebintu twabisoma twabikugukamu. And so politics namwingira mu ntya bwendira nayagaana ziri twawula, and he had just walked out. There was a public debate about Zitwawula and how Zitwawula had been betrayed by the people he had agreed with to resign if they extended the term of office of the NRC. Now we were going into Constituent Assembly. So Constituent Assembly, every community, every region was organizing who would be their voice, who would be there.
Which year are we talking about now?
We're talking about 92, 93. So, district local government. so mbu baba batyaime eyo bali kulowooza bategeke batya ekyalo ekyebusoga bayine bamukoba ati Honorable Kadaga tali kwesimbawo bukyabakyala asazeewo ali kujja buzaaya kwesimbira we tuli kunoonya omwana omuwala asomye anaaba eddoboozi lyaffe ng'abeekamule nga balingirire Uganda bali kulingirira ebyalo buli kyalo kiri kuleeta mukugu musomi mukenkufu balingirire ba Benuwa Kyabeno ba Maratu babeere bayona kanyomoze beno bakati memperano ife tujatwalani bakabati imperano tomuziraba joyogere kuni muwalawo Salaam Musumba akola mu Red Cross tumubonamu
mukisebe kyolode yali Salaam Musumba banga akali Salaam
nali ndi Salaam Musumba there
awona kujja kuidawo
so ainga Salaam Musumba ndikikozesa bwakuba butyayi bakobati joyete ku night leta ku night yeta ku night yoyo tubone so banonda batya why did they zero on me by that time nize omwana omuwala Zenka mu Kamuli district eyali ni master's degree so nga baliga ati twenda kutwala mukenkufu titwenda abulire mu luzungu
ni Honorable Kadaga yali azira
no she didn't
okay
so twenda oyo but Kadaga was in NRC so she had credentials already ayo muyaka ali kuida so muze yaida yawuna encho transport system yali ekali kuterera so governor mwenda mu taxi kuncho waida yeigulo so he came and told me I laughed amuzani muze nze me nze ndayogeranga ku lusoga for 30 minutes here zerali mwana ndogera luzungu buli sawa nsaze ku omugulu ngandi bana okusoma kuona kuleta ebizibu okwepanka nga kwene panka bana era nize nokwogera ku n'abaana abalambako biri because me ne background yenkubayire yenvire ngandi bwakabi yengo mani ndo ngandi bwe nkulingirira oba ofunye mukisa
omala wera kato we bazanga thank God
ati aninzeko and we were efficient workers I mean I would move to supply health kits countrywide ngani Red Cross yonka negaba ku boots negaba ku gloves negaba ku Macintosh kubanga ensi yali ezira nabyekozesa mu idwaliro so okwidanda bomuntu alwaide AIDS oba slim nga you needed a lot of home care kits so I was in charge of that program procuring home care kits distributing home care kits and making sure health centers that we had found out so nga bambona ngankola when I deliver boots we take them to the health center we supply them and we go on to do that of course ngambinudira munabe Kamuli nagabanga HIV AIDS kits singa Kamuli ezira ngabenga Kamuli ezira no and I would justify it and I would deliver them so I was very popular kaide omwana omusawo omwana asomye banange so I'm telling you but it didn't bother me it didn't bother me I didn't even know it didn't bother me nesomeire byange nali tidi ngandi wakabi ngane yenda ngane matira I must preserve the brand yena magunga and of course over the years people disliked me for it but one elder took me aside the akat Salaam tuwanjiba night wanji baba twidi wasoma nti yeseb aito tusina na kusoma nti yeseb buli boti ama watu sina asoma twidi wasoma shut up
wetekana
nategererawo nti aneze ino okunkoba ekyagaawo obutange yo idingena kudino abantu bagaya bugaya banaibwe
bakusonkesa
bakugaya but I mean they took me on and said we don't like that and I respected them bankati Salaam oli kutuma naife abasoga ati fo tubonera naye tulini byetwenda bona yenda okuba mugala waife owereze ife you must look like us nti yesebo rule number 1 tosala ku mugulu anti yidi abasoma
lwatyamu
bulige nati amen kaidina akabe bungereza ya ona achikola yesebo 2 we don't want you in public. They were reading me the social code. Mu public tukwenda mu bitete mu bitenji all the time olina kuba mugomas ngoidwira atete have gomas
kazi omusogo omwedu
no yo ona achisobola yesebo mena aja nayo la gomasi naye gano okujambala
n'okugisiba okuwogola
be nga frame erina okuwomera ku gomasi oli
yes
naye gogisiba nakola practice naagitereza naagiyola nakola ki until I perfected it. And the art of dressing up for the utility of the people I represented continues. Tisobola kujanti I can't.
era mpulire ng'oli kuboto oli kujja kamulibona ava oli ku kyososoko
ndikujaka
okay
ka by the way I've never outgrown being a child at home. I have never outgrown it, so now as I get home I feel like a child.
Okay,
so people look at me and wonder I said but I'm at home, I'm home. So but in public I can't. In public there's a code of dressing that I must approved code. So panka in public service panka public beauty I know the space is sacrosanct. So bango batu balikwenda mbe member constituent assembly delegate wa Kamuli mzee bwe yankobera ekyo I told you I laughed at myself. I said me I didn't even know how to speak Lusoga. I didn't. Ngandi the Lusoga no mpaka madhi. Muli motialo no lwa kuliyemere. Addressing a gathering in Lusoga needed a lot of art. So anyway, bebankoba na bakoma anti na babuza anti what do you want me to do? Makat, we want you to be our voice as a woman constituent assembly for Kamuli district. Nga Kamuli etu kakaliro yatu kanebuyende. It was so big. Na bagoba buzanti. If you want me to be a delegate, is there no other option? Bakobati bugabula gabaini amwe emirundi ebiri eriyo bugabula north ne bugabula south. John Sebastian Majimbi was our NRC member. After Professor Wilson Nadiope Gabula had passed on. So yes, he wasn't a Chabazinga, he was a Gabula.
Okay. Hey.
Yali Gabula. Because Gabula is a title.
Okay.
So na babuza nti yenga incumbent ajawa ati alikuja Bugabula North. Na babuza nti Bugabula South, which is new. Eyagetia at 4 sub-counties. Now auntie, if you want me, I don't have energy for that big geographical district. I don't have the energy. I didn't even have the energy. I don't even have the resources. Because I evaluated myself. Just to go to, I said, if you want me, I will come in Bugabula South.
be available.
I will be available for Bugabla South. They thought it was a joke. I said, if you truly want me, I'll be available for Bugabla South. And that's how it happened. So I contested in CA. It was so interesting. Very interesting. Kubanga bwenkoba irina litidi Lusoga. So bandeetera abasaadha abansomesa Olusoga. Buli gulo nga tutyama. There was an art of speaking of Basogas in parables, in stories, and what. I had to learn that.
And thank God you mastered it. Actually, you should be far better than your teacher. By now.
A village clown. He taught me Lusoga. And there would be, I was learning on the job, so they would be standing opposite me. Those days we would have, Bandetachi, we would have joint candidates meetings. So if we are 6, we get at the venue that is agreed, they allocate numbers, and then it's like a lot. You pick a number, the number you pick is what you are. And so, you kept adjusting your speech, depending on whether you are number 1 or number 5, the previous speakers. And I remember I was, one time, Brewer Abaliwano, Albert Brewer Abaliwano, was a candidate. And he comes from this big family, a lineage of leaders in the community. And whenever I looked at him, I saw myself contesting against my father. And he was these elite class people. They had never had direct interaction with the population. And the name, my friend, I would get intimidated. And so, but I had to put my point. I had to sell myself to the people. So one day, Yakoba, he spoke before me. I got, Ayvana. Obuchirana. Waire twena tulivuga gali. Aye eri alivugira mu manda, ali ku kitebe, ali ku muti. You know? It was so visual. Nga ndikwebona nga ninze ndikuvugira egali mu manda. And I just laughed.
Kuvugira egali mu kyenda nga govugira mu kyenda. Abalala batudde ku kitebe abalala bali kuvugira mu kyenda.
I laughed. He took me out that day. So we went back on strategic planning for tomorrow. Said, akale sayi encho bwa kairamu. Tumwire mu tutya. Waliwo kana akagero nti bwa kairamu. Mukoba oti Basoga balala imwe nimwe omukoba. Muti ekikuzeewo kibeeka kinakyo. Enkoko ensene ebeeka empanga. It's a crude thing. Chabuwemu sibashogera batyo. But in order to break him, ekyo Obote. True. He picked before me. He said it again. I took him out. And he never said it again. I tell you, Abantu, the people, the electorates who had come, they laughed. When we went back, because we would meet every after for strategic decisions, said, akota kairamu akomperano tikawomera okakozesa lulala because as a woman I was not supposed to say certain things the way I said them. Said akomubiseku ati tujja kairamu pera ntujja kukozesa kandi. So they would take me through all that. At the close of that, I had mastered the art of speech in Lusoga. And thanks to them, I think I speak the best Lusoga. But I learned it on the job. So then I won that election, but probably one of being a man from family of ways and means, of a name and what, because a man asked me in one of those campaigns and said, okobira yenda kuteesa amateeka nti yesebo nkobera ekirowa olukone byawula ki ku itaka lyawula ki. I didn't try to be clever. When I answered, I said, Baba, ekibuuzo nkiwulire. Ensonga y'obuuziriza TGB ayinza ajeega. I said, and I told him, I promise you one thing, I will never shortchange you, my people. I will never. But know that kyentategeera buti nja kisoma nkitegeere, and I will always defend your best interest. That's what I promise you. And I sat down. So afterwards, bana echirowa olukone, and there's something else. They taught me quickly the lanternua system. By tomorrow I was gumite nalinda. Then another man asked me, said, iwe mukazi obukazi omwana omugala obugala osobola okwenda okola amateeka agaife abasabe abakulu, because I was breaking social psychology. A girl, I wasn't even a woman. I was I think 29. How?
Very young.
How? And then I told him, and say, you can rely on me. Era osobola okulambala wabulizana kuba tiri kulya mulukwe. I will never shortchange you, and I will always consult you. You can bank on me on that. And they can audit me since what happened. So that too was a limitation. Actually, the guy concluded it by saying, Bana, enkoko enkazi bwekoli okooma bagikola batya? Bagisala kwa omutwe. Nabuuza nti oba enkoko enkazi eneeriga. Nze teri nkoko. Nze ndi muntu eyasoma. Bw'obuuza mu district yona oba eri ansinga okusoma, kyemba ndi nkoko ekoli okooma. My dear, you know, you would come clashing with social expectations, with social culture, with gender issues, all those things. So that's how I got introduced into politics. After that exercise, I was so exhausted, I was so tired. Ngatienda nakuulira. I couldn't even go to court. Even when I had won, I said, Vanambireke, because I didn't want to excite a community. But I tell you, my village cried. People cried, even my pressure went up. People who had been my teachers in P1, they had said, listen, we want our own to be our voice. We want Namwendwa to have a voice, in national affairs. They came crying. Ekyalo kyona nichida mu compound crying. Museveni, you promised us that never again will anybody ever steal our votes. How can you let us down like this? I mean, I carried the weight of lost expectation. I carried the weight of a community that had been scratched in the wounds of 1980.
You mean you lost that election?
Yes, I did. Their wounds were fresh. They kept crying. They were reminded of DP and UPC and how UPC had stolen their victory and how, oh my God. It was heavy. So I went back to work.
At the Red Cross.
At the Red Cross. I went back to sleep. The only thing I wanted was sleep after that election. And I took a month off just to sleep and catch up with the sleep debt. And also reconstruct my mind what I'd just encountered, what I'd just gone through. So then I went into 1996. I went for elections of Member of Parliament. I won. We had learned from that pain of Constituent Assembly. We tightened all the loose ends and we won. I was a Member of Parliament for 10 years for Gabla County South. And then when we went back into multi-party politics, I had opted out of the NRM and because we didn't have enough time to explain to the population, and being NRM became a fault of security, of continuity, and I went on to do my things. But my people, I have benefited from their love. Those people love me. Okay. They do. And they're my oxygen whenever I talk about good governance, collective good. It's because I exercised it, and because I know it's possible, and because I know they can bank on me any day.
Honorable, let's talk about the parliament where you legislated for 10 years.
Yes.
Compared to the one of today in terms of decision making, being an accountability institution.
You can't compare them. It's like day and night. You can't. You have merchants in parliament now. The merchants. Basubuzi batembeyi majority. Ife twafuna omukisa okutamu nkolayisa amateeka omuyaka Abannayuganda gwe beekolera era n'okutegeka ensi empyaka ku musingi ife bene gwe twekoleire ogwayise mateeka wa 1995. So nze nali mu palamenti eyo eyali eri kutereza kunyweza amagulu ga Uganda eigumire tugitambuze nga tefaanana nadhibaireku edaali bikozesa Lancaster constitution, eyali ekozesa Pigeonhole constitution, eyali ekozesa decrees by Idi Amin, eyali ekozesa about which order number 1 eyaleeta Museveni entegeke nga twena tukoze endagaano empyaka nga Abannayuganda. So it was such a lovely experience, being able to exercise new power, a new constitution, a new place in history, new ng'omugole bwaba.
Yes, one of you were still talking about Uganda. Today's parliament and compared to the one.
No, they are not comparable. They are just the same building and the same title, but the content is different.
Okay.
The parliament we built was a parliament that we wanted to be better than the previous ones, but also the best within the Commonwealth. Kubanga, by the time we got elected, we had been deregistered with we had been chased out of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, and so we were readmitted, and so we were for rebuilding. and there was a lot of investment in training, in equipping a new parliament. We also got support from the American government to build and equip a people's assembly that would work and institute the rule of law. Because the rule of law is a public good that provides certainty, stability, fairness, and progress in a society. So the investment was high, and I happened to be in many of those spaces that would make it possible for that to happen. Now, my biggest advantage was nti ife mu parliament twali mu ndowooza abantu bana abaali bayibye computer.
Only 4.
Bana ate nga titwidde bingi ino ate twidde word perfect word perfect 5 tidde nga mwidukira n'ebyo. Maybe you weren't even born. There were no laptops, there were computers, big machines like a TV. Okay? So mu parliament eyo mwalimu abayibye computer, mwalimu Hallelujah Ikote, Rosette Hallelujah Ikote, yali woman MP wa Palisa, mwalimu Honorable Winnie Byanyima, mwalimu Johnson Nkuhe, ninze. Only 4 people knew how a computer works and what a computer is. So in retooling, in equipping, we had to go computer. And so abamagazine abaliwo bali by the typewriter Olivetti, the electric. So in that parliament, we then also set up how do we construct a new parliament fit for purpose. Under Speaker James Wambogo wa Pakabulo, we established a parliamentary commission. Kuba ebiseera ebyo nga parliament eri oti department ya government. Ngera baba bisort civil servants. Twakana tibe. This is a constitutional body. This is the other one is the executive. We must constitute and construct ourselves as a parliament. So we passed a private members bill moved by Honorable Dan Wandero Gallo to set up a parliamentary administration, a separate administration to manage the affairs of parliament, to manage the training of members of parliament,
making it an
independent institution. And we were learning from the House of Commons and the House of Lords. So membership ya parliamentary commission, mwalimu ba backbenchers, mwaba minister of finance, nga speaker n'omukulu wa parliamentary commission, clerk ni secretary wa. We set up a body corporate. So we also needed training because we didn't know about parliament. We were learning from a dead one. So we did. There was a big investment in us to benchmark those parliaments. So we went to the House of Commons. We went to the House of Lords, we went to Canada, we went to the state legislatures of USA, Colorado, we went to the Capitol Hill, we went to the Lok Sabha, which is the Parliament of India, we went to Germany, we went around to form our parliament, and we did, we set it up, tamper-proof, bulletproof. We also needed space to work. Nga parliament baji wamba ila parliament building under Obote, it had been all occupied. Minister of Foreign Affairs erimu wingere, police erimu wingere, president's office erimu wingere, because it had become necessary under Obote to control parliament. So he brought the police nearby. Nga bakugemerawo baja niwe. So gwaba mulimo gwaife okubafulumya. Nali member wa parliamentary commission. Nife pioneer members of that commission. Nze, Dano Gallo, Mateke, Philemon, Philemon Matekebe yafuka minister balonda dan David Guma gumisiriza. So we were the three commission backbenchers, and we were the movers and shakers of what should happen. Ngabala bandi bali busy. We worked as a team, a robust team. And twasoka twakobera speaker nti tujja fulumya foreign affairs. Ati abutya nti tujja bafulumya bene banamana be on our side. Ati kale tujja fulumya police. Police bakati feti tufuluma. Tulina Ayume.
Okay.
But Ayume kubawo batolawo they redeployed Honorable Apakabulo. Your story yona anene yetagala nakulamba. So twaba ni Francis Ayume nga tujja twamwibira ku kye tujja okola. Twafuna approval ye metwakikola.
Okay.
So twaba tulifulumya police. Police nga yatamula equipment. Identification bureau eryomu balina antennas all over the place. Twagati mutolemu. But this is parliamentary building. A parliamentary building chali chirabo at Independence. Okutuwa National Assembly mwetujo okuteseza. Just like it, they gave Kenya an assembly and Tanzania an assembly. So because of our bad politics, this place had been invaded. And also for 7 years, for 9 years, under Idi Amin, it was non-function. Ngayafuka dump. Muliazira chakola bitira wempo beda pangisa omwo emidolo mejo na jaza aliro omwo yafuka theater. Yeah. So we wanted that building to be used for the purpose for which it was donated to the Uganda people. Twafulumya police. Ainga toilet the police. Here. Ngangubu dafuka da black. Takanti byona mfulumya. All these partitions remove. Make it fresh air. Bagolola. Make this building, let's use it the way it was planned to be in its original use. Mwire factory setting.
Wanaona tulikogera kusala mowa NRM or movement.
Twali mu movement twena. The individual merit. So, twabafulumya ba foreign affairs, twafulumya ba police, twafulumya president's office. Ayeyo yatulemamu. Yatulemamu. Cabinet library awo office ya president twakanti bana muzimbe bali ne police chief mbu we shouldn't own, they shouldn't own offices. But how can you call yourself a government that has nowhere to work from? No workspace. So foreign affairs no kuzimbe chizimbe chiyaka bafuna home. Police no kwiraga ekibuli basinzira bayire naguru. Yali rebel brains of ours. President's office twamugamba nti wena baba wetegeke ofune yoja tulekemu awasigalawo cabinet library ayinga. It was like a common room. You know, cabinet doesn't have a library. It does not have a resource center in which cabinet sits to evaluate policies, to draw policies, to get new knowledge, you know, as cabinet. And cabinet is not working as an executive. Kubanga, when we enhanced the salaries and emoluments of members of parliament, balumuka mu cabinet bakoba atwena mutusasulenga ba members of parliament bale malireyo tibayirangayo. And the secretary to cabinet, which is a constitutional position, should set up a cabinet and take care of the welfare and the work conditions of an executive. Tikubasula nya batyo tubaneni olwiso obutakola aye nebyo kukozesa bazira nenkola ye nenfu abalwaki tebampangisa nimbaterekeza eri abantu ngabo tibafuna mukisa nga ife getwafuna.
Nga basobola okukwesa.
Listen, why not? I'm not an enemy of everything. I love this country, and I love it to work well. You know? I mean, nze nkukobera amasomero gensomeiremu batutegeka kutegeka eri abatafuna mukisa ogwo kutegeke bwaye beyagaine mu bifo ebiba mu banene aye they don't know better. Buli kimuba kibona oti film oti TV. They don't have the software it needs to be to work. But that's why Namagunga trained us. You know? So that we can be of use to our nation.
So, Honorable, history has it, and it will always have it, that you were once a M7 supporter and an NRM too. What really happened, and at what time did you pivot to leave the movement?
I did not just support President Museveni. I loved him. Not liking.
You loved him, Museveni.
Not love bino byemutegeere ebyenaku dino ebyekisiro. I just loved his brain. I loved the way he articulated issues. I liked the energy he brought into politics. I loved everything. And then I did so mulimo gwange mu Red Cross.
So what?
Nga nali ndi kujja Geneva. That was my career path. I would now be a very big person in the Red Cross family. But I said, nation building. Nation building is calling.
What happened?
Kugema kuisa mateeka. Okukyusa ise mateeka nga tukali mu malayo kumukozesaaku. Aho genakoma. Because for me, my attraction was that we will never slide back to where we've been. And what was Uganda's problem? What was Africa's problem as he defined it, which attracted me, is that people who overstay in power. I knew, tufunie mwene. Bwebagema kuise mateeka. Ati tutolewo term limits. Awe bansibulira. Kuba kyandidukiza nga tuli baana bato ba baba baife ba DP batukubye emigo as DPs, families of DPs, we are terrorized the whole time. Abantu bebalonze ku ticket ya DP ba members ba parliament baja bachuka baja mu UPC kairi ne batutuntuza olwa UPC. You know, I snapped. I remembered.
I can feel the pain. Baba Beans.
You know,
so I can feel the pain.
For me, it just defined a future that would be unstable, that would be threatened. As we are now. That was my turning point. Because this was an affront on the aspirations of the people of Uganda, who had just put in ink their aspirations in a new constitution. Now we're not civil leader. 2004.
2004. Okay.
2004, 2005.
Has there ever been a moment wotuuka no regretting and no gamba nti singanga nali nsigaddeyo kubanga bw'omala okujoininga gundi opposition eno ndowooza n'amaanyi ge walinago mu kiseera ekyo n'opposition bwe yali efaanana mwali n'eisuubi nti Uganda edda kukyuka mu bwangu mu kiseera ekyamangu ayo emyaka gye gino giwanvuiwe opposition yali kufaana eti ate Museveni akalemeire ku ntebe waliwo ekiseera kiwakeera kunosuubira nti alibaawo olwaleero oba wakeeraako bwoti oba singa nga twali tusigere and we fight from inside, fighting from within.
I have never regretted anything that I've done because I've done it consciously. In spite of all the betrayals, in spite of everything, I am comfortable in the decision I took because it was not a personal decision. inayenda kulya nabutinja tochebe.
Yes, I know.
But then what? Abantu bali weteeketeeke buli omu ali kulingalinga buti. Abagolofa baliko batunadibeda tutya. Everybody has an evacuation plan. Everybody knows the inevitable end, how it's going to happen. It's inevitable end. Everybody knows where we are going because this is a well-trodden path. This is what the Constitution sought to cure.
Honorable.
Titwandizeemu ebintu bye twali tulobye titwandizeemu. So buti buli omu alingirire n'aba abisanga ebiteekateeka bye twabakobera kaire n'abatusinga n'obusungu twakati osunguwala tibukyeire baba mutasunguwala tibukyeire. You were part of laying this bed in which now we must lay. So enensigo ey'obunanfuusi abagikola bakaali balamu n'aba nayo who will live with the consequences of it boona bali gano. So embeera neeno which we tried to avert in all our efforts. I wasn't looking for a job because I knew where the jobs were, but we were averting a stalemate, a paralysis in which we find ourselves today. We did everything we could, as we continue to do, to avert. That is why twegulika erina Forum for Democratic Change, because we knew that any change which is not democratic is dangerous change. But now it's inevitable. Kaka akapate kebe pankire nga mumbuko DNRM bakalire kona kafire omana ngoti emyaka jona kabaire kakola ki
NRM ezira obuto
but Piero Yuneri yakalire wira iwe uliranga ku Secretary General owekibina kyenarem ngabako ekigambo kyayogera kasookedde tujambulu okay.
Honorable, kino kiweereza message ki eri mu opposing government ya President Museveni omwenda change?
We are Democrats, we are only an alternative voice. In fact, we wanted to change the psyche of this word called opposition. We are minority. We are the minority.
The minority government.
We are the minority party, the minority leaders, you know, but we are not at war. We are not opposing.
Okay.
We only have another point of view, another outlook to life. Iwe bobo mu Protestant nze nimba mu Catholic lutalo. Mwena timuli ba Bible.
Tusigala tuli ba Bible.
Yes. The way you look at it, your rituals and mine are different. Aye chechi tufuula batemo.
No.
Why can't people, why has this country refused to understand that? That is what political platforms are. We espouse different outlooks in life on how to manage society, and we sell them to the public. We do not go to emasculate public, manipulate public, quiver public. No. Era the politics gonna yendo okubaamu no yogwendo beiremu at high cost. Ntibana nso kuba or People's Front for Freedom. Ti lutalo. Ayero ulire bisade bisirusiru biri awo. Oyo wa kibina fefe ba NRM. Imwe muli ba kibina ebene mbuzi dene. Dimera dinome. Just bogus.
Otabakoboti nokolero balike.
Balese.
Honorable, you've lost a number of friends in this struggle, the people whom you started with, the struggle, the people who opposed Museveni with hope that governance will change, but then they even lost their lives, they died. Nga President Museveni achali president. What do you think people like Dr. Suleiman Chigundu, Honorable Vincent Chimera, Hussein Chanjo, Patrick Monda, Ekule Park, Angilo, Gutumoi, Johnny Almadri, Lois Otika, James Okoka, Cecily Ogwal, and all those others gone. All those other gone great men would say about Museveni's longevity if they resurrected today?
They wouldn't be surprised. They always knew. Actually, these days in Jana and Monda, James Monda. You know, there was Patrick Monda and James Mwanda.
Hey, James Mwanda.
James Eliezer Mwanda. They would be happy with me. Very happy. That their political aspirations have not died in pain, in vain, that I'm here to continue articulating them. I may be a minority, but there's a voice. Because I learned much from them. Era kyova obona ebintu ebiriwo nti tibinzindula, because batusomera badikenyayi ba okule park batusomera omuntu President Museveni bamutusomera ngeisomo. It was a course. Kanti waide mukoze mudaye ekyo mubisisa
Mwoine ino mwachisoisa.
Mujero gocha. Ebo tintemye ebiri. Because I kept saying, abantu mutasalanga bumangu without a background check. Mwekenenye ino. Abantu bemutambuyinza. Batabagayiranga bogayira ati nize Salaam ewe. Era abaganda kye bava babuuzanga nti oyo mwana wani. To check your lineage whether it's worth it. Ayemperana abakolanga propaganda nga bakati abaganda basosola kumbe nga balikola due diligence. Ni wani. Era dalet byanyima yawa amagezi ati never pick your leaders from the street. Bono bunkubi obukoti.
Olokubonawo.
Umukubanga awo meire mu maiso. Baba be. Ozira software. Irayo ku base. Tobabona abakatuliki bakobati. Irayo ku parishia. Nebetuwe. Pass.
Okay.
Obotukana. Toida bwide kugwa Kampala. Nofuka saba Kristo. Otya.
Olino kuba ni recommendation ya parishio.
It had the biggest intelligence network. Kuva mu Kabondo. Osabali. Christmas. Yonka. So, Buganda had an inbuilt mechanism of due diligence. But abantu nga bagenda kujidamage ngo ibya abantu bebogera nibye bayidini bebatayidi kufukumuka bigambo batyo. And because we were brought up in a desperate situation, we were gullible. Iwa Idirachi, Minister of Information, bajiuza to destroy our history. How can you throw the archives of a nation on the street? Which government ever does that? Ngayenda NCIO. You destroy its history. Era nguli Bungereza tiyali nachi na archives na library, because whatever was here is there. Whatever you want, don't miss here. It's there.
It's there.
Yes. Even in the Library of Congress, you can get it. We can reconstruct who we are. Special branch, the better special branch was disbanded. Why? Because it had classified files about people. A thorough job. Like a CIA. But we have CMI. Bakola bindi, false intelligence. They are using it against political opponents. A state building. State. State. ANC. Ngezina information. That's why today President Museveni can appoint a minister who is a dual citizen or a citizen of another country. The tools of due diligence were destroyed. They are not used. Oyinza okuba ngobaire n'ambassador Adonia Ayebale mu UN in New York, American citizen. Or you already should be tried for treason, or your agent was CIA. You don't even have to look. Really, we are laughing stock. Abanze Salaam wena mwendo amanebyo.
Olo president
abali n'obuyinza. This is a very, very porous country. It is a transparent country. It's an open sewer. You know? You don't need much. You can even buy intelligence information here if you want, because it's on the street. They are dissatisfied.
Honorable, you are a political philosopher. You are. You are. No doubt. And many see you as someone who is politically insightful. Do you think Museveni is also surprised on how he has easily been able to lead Uganda for 40 years?
Easily? Atufuse na chuma. Olituli easy.
Tichibaire changu.
Tichangu nakatono. So yadulusa abamani. Okusigala gali. He has had to do reverse psychology. Itabuli kirungi kiriwo. Abe makerere yabamala. We used to have dialogues, public dialogues. Nga abakenkufu baida. Twati amatu atesa twawulira abakenkufu bwe Mamudani, Mazuruyi, Sibambi, ni governor, Ngabam Bank, to give a public lecture about something. Yaba Nabantu who give their alternative views. And we debate in a healthy society. Yabita. So where is the intellectual PowerPoint? Nowhere.
Wazira.
In an effort to kukola ba professor ababe bakoze bi professor nga nibo chitawo webuzo tikaidi ono yavirega ajire ku chat GBT kwa toire
ba professor ba president zoni ba chat GPT
ena kwa iri ku chalo kuno iwabona kuwano PL Lumumba gano wano mu Uganda aliwo
tuzira
wanone yali Makerere University is the mother of intellectual power. The intellectual powerhouse killed over the years, deliberate. Obona ku MP yafana norengo gano
Tumazirawo.
Makaya. Nga asobola okuta obwongo ku pano. Ni parliament ya Africa. Ya Europe. Ya East Africa. Bwongo ku bwongo. Makaya.
Tumazirawo.
Tulikubino, you see, for us, we therefore, nibe twasigaza.
Bw'oyogera n'okoboti yeerira abantu ab'omuzinzi yabaduuluusa.
Yabayita systematically.
Remember when
naga ku PS gwoyagayaza ni muhakanisa mwaka linalit tompa abiri kubagazirayo neira lolizira. I mean, muhakanisa would defend intellectually ngaje tibamwenda ingaze nendo yeah.
Nti wosinga kunumirwa byononeike n'ensonga lwaki wayenda ng'oyo.
I love intellectual discourse. I love just brain work. Niwe mbanga nti amana awomerwa nakani. I mean, you would look at people like Okule Park and Jirik Nyai. Abenego Ngom. What?
Bavawa.
Eli Karuhanga. Huh? Waikiriza otense Katondo oli Mugabe. Manuel Pinto. Ngolingirira wakoboti we wow. Uganda is secure. Nzonangira parliament ngeriyo bingi byensaidi. Eriyo ekigambo nakyegerawo era nabuti kikanta wana. Nuclear proliferation. Nga kubagut.
Kitegeza kye tunaona
wena joke bere. Ndi kukobera ebigambo nze ebyantwalanga okusoma mu library just so that nkiwulire lulala na hanti enkyaji okira mu ngakide.
Nsasire yoja na magunga nze naja lwanyama primary school na.
No problem. Lekamba kobere. The beauty of education is this. Era nakikobanga abaana nga ndi chairman wa district. When I go supervising schools, I would tell them, don't you worry. Your future is secure. It is only your input that will make a difference. Why? Because the alphabet is still 26 letters. The alphabet is still 26 letters. If it had changed, we would never have caught up. Anga alphabet ekaliya nugutabe na mukaga, you're good to go. Don't even you be threatened. You're good to go.
Okay.
It doesn't matter which school you went to. It's how you apply your brain to the knowledge world. Aya ife tulikuja mu knowledge world. Aya tulikutwala bufere. In the knowledge world. Tulitwala mu bigambo. Kuwaya bino, kuwayulula bino, lwali. Ako kalabye. Okakubye. Oyo wala jo mutwalirani Mose.
Honorable, my question, dembe likuza yogere ku kyokuduusa nti yerira abantu ab'omuzinzi yabaduuluusa. Mu kitabo kya Betrayed by My Leader, omuwandiisi bwe yawandiika yakoba nti President Museveni alina abantu be yategetinga ng'aka nti bano singa ngamba nafuya nimba menamena ebisigere biddako nanguyira. Mu kiseera kino naidukira nga bwe nali ndi muto nali ndowooza mu senior tu President Museveni yaidewo ife ekisozi yali kwigombolola. Mu bigambo yali ali kwogera yakati mulimu wana abantu abavuddeyo okuwakanya Museveni naye njagala bagamba nti abo abagala kaguta agende be balina okusooka okugenda, and one of those people be ya mentioninga yali Salaam Musumba, then yata ku Honorable Abdu Katuntu. Mu kiseera kino kye tulimu, do you feel you've personally been targeted by that?
I was targeted long ago. Aye targeting samagezi gange. Nakugakoba. Kubera abali na amagezi nga bagalamba ire. Kyava kuki Budagali. Nga bendo okola hydroelectric power dam e Budagali. just 11 kilometers downstream okuva ku Nalubale Dam.
Okay.
Nga batuwaire science nga niwe bwene yasoma kumana nti the proximity of those dams will not generate the amount of gundi we need. But also the alternative uses for the Budagali Falls as a tourist area. But somesa how it is happening, whitewater rafting in Zimbabwe, all these things. Aye nga abasomeire mu President Museveni bali mukobambo twenda asula government ye. We are only saying let us debate the best use of our natural resource. Batumanirire ino batudulusisa ino era Budagali tebikola. This is what ni Saida Bumba aliwo aba Nile Power AES
was the Minister of Energy.
ni Migereko we
Migereko tudakumala kumwogere kubanga
betirero tirero.
Okay.
So batusibire mukaguli not to think, just to approve. Wakati be daleta Martin Musumba environmental activist nabo bani eyafuka Justice Kakuru. I mean, environmental activists said no, unless we change the technology, what we call amasanalaza gano, but we can still have the same dam and also have the falls. People were desperate, bringing new ideas. Daleta Salaam nze ndiko bantu bana tulina amasanalaza aye nga Busoga titufuniyemu twenda percentage royalties twenda tufune mu natural resource eri ewaife ngewa imwe eri mountain gorillas bwe mukikozi tibenda awulira niba kanti be the other is a natural resource, this is a natural resource, let us share. Kuba titwida kubanga tuli baavu aye nga nifo tulina amasanalaza nga nega imwe zira amasanalaza ku damu mwiri nga imwe muzira kuisimba
tuzira.
That was my fight.
Okay.
Mwana iwe oluzungu twagayira oiji obululu tubunonya mu Lusoga ayense efugirwa mu luzungu meni twaleta luzungu mpapula ku lupapula twasoka twaga nti musoke mu evaluating. First of all niche bali balese power purchase agreement kyali kiyaka ngezira kiwuliranga naku n'abali mu government tibakibi aye bali kireta mu parliament baga nti power purchase agreement tiya kubonebwa abantu bona twagati mebo tutajibona tujabisachi twagaba nti mujituwe batuwa ogutabo guti benali nsoma geography mu secondary waliwo ogutabo nga bagweta Monk House. It was about the weather nga gwaga guti guno gwali bi Monk House bibiri twaguwa Daniel Galo tusomeremu oluzungu oli omutwe natwe titulutegeera tukolere summary ya leta ya soma nga naidi okusoma obunangani obutono obunuguto obutono ya ida ya tukobera ati banani mu ide ekirimu ni kino twakati betulobi era buli yaliku ogalo batolako basule Salaam katuntu ne yalemera kwa yena twaje okumutwala buli yali mu muzinzi ati bano baboine aye tujira okumalirira nga twena tuli kuitaka eri akasobola amasanzi. Industries are closing because we were saying, listen, this is very expensive. Power! Go back to the Hansard. Don't take my word. Go back to the Hansard and see what was the debate about Budagali and hydroelectric power and the private and the power purchase agreement. Mulino kusoma. Ederi abana mloza mutimbu muidino. What do you know? Esi mulioli nalio lata una alikugulide. What do you have of your own? Nenga ito baka kugulide. Listen to your father, listen to your people. That's why Indian community is better than all of us. By that, yebali, yabatusawo yali ni dada wachi dada. They respect every generation of what has brought them. If abasoga buli omu muba buli omu omusoga meaning every Ugandan buli omu muba buli omu aidhi mbwakuze akasimu ninze nkugulire oyinza okusinga nze amagezi nze kakugulire tusobola. So this is the crisis of our society and our social structure. Kids have lost respect for elders. They think they know. All we are telling you, don't make the mistakes we made. And that's why the political mentoring I want to do to people and tell them, listen, we've been there. I was even more versatile than all of you added. I've been there. You will only be better than me if you listen to me and take from me. If you don't, you are going to make mistakes and you'll be wound back to zero. Also, uzananga ku snakes and ladders. Kaida kulumira ku 99. Listen, avoid that trap. Learn. Be mentored. Inachemba nkoba abantu in those places, public places. I said, listen, you need to have a pool of interns to learn from you. Nze namala emyaka ebiti nga mu parliament tuyogera ningirira bulingirira aboogera bakati twalonda kibubu nakati pendi kwega aire nayogera kairi bakati kairi oli kwogera ina. I said no, kino nekyano nze mbaire nkasoma maze the first year nga sawa munana dindagana nti aimaawo era nga bamaliriza tindimu tifuluma nekora in our parliament ezera kyenkobi walingirira agora awodi akabata kweli waling. My God, it was like you are in a theater, movie theater. Twajanga n'okujjayo twamala twekolamu aka organization, Young Parliamentary Association, to train ourselves, and we would bring people, teach us about this, teach us about that. We would bring experts, teach us about this. Bano bazira biseera byega, bazira biseera bireeta the best resource to them. Nalingirira era nankani yaibweno training eyali emunyonyi nakanti kale bano babasomesa ki. Really, I looked at the choice of content na asasira parliament najisasi, because the resource is out here. There are so many former members of parliament who are world class, who they can learn from. They can learn from them. Banang guno omulimezera isomero lyagwo oyegera ku baino. Who is your role model? What do you want to be like at the end of the 5 years? You know, nze bampa ko omulimo IRI, International Republican Institute, to mentor women, new women members of parliament. I would go slowly with them, take them through what I want them, what not to do, what to avoid, what to look out for. Ngabojo kusoma nankandi driving. Batu kabalekera okuyiba. Bagawat, if she knew all over abidi byona lwachi yagwa. Riba na mindset. Pera no mwaka ogwokusatu bwe gutuuka batandika okunonya. Salaam, come again and talk to us about the other thing. You know, we didn't understand at that time. But you see, we were mentoring the next generation of women who will not fall through the trappings of power, the trappings of leadership. I bokola roll call. Abakali bobatono. Esi yaba na yafod. You see, politics is not fair to women. And this is what I was mentoring women to be. I said, the world is not fair to women. Esi bwe kuba omusaadha tibwe kuba omukazi.
Yakuba different.
And that the law requires that their rights are not encroached on. They are innocent until proven guilty. And the standard of evidence required is impeccable. For now, what we see is a lot of hearsay. There's no crime scene. Byakibega mu lusoga olutuufu byakikumbaavu. So it is a weapon. That is sad. Anyway, Katonda natusinga okumanya bino byonna byonna. Era bibaawo for a purpose. Kuba ngulisi bibaawo ireewo. Abana Uganda tibandimanye ati omuntu gwe baayenda emyaka gyona gyona abeefuulire. Omuntu gwe baali bayide ati mugezi ino kali magezi kaide ali kufaanana ngeri. You see, God reveals you in their own way. And we are in that chapter of Revelation. Tikuyamba eri kukola Katonda kye yagikola okola. Revealing our leaders.
Okay.
And who is who. Ali kuteeka empiki byaka ati mubwenyi. Katonda yabatola ku mukono.
Okay. Honorable. Abaganda bako actually n'abasoga nti akyogera kuti n'akireeta. Omukazi omunafu ti n'aleeta endala mu maka.
N'agireeta. Omukazi
omunafu n'aleeta. Lwaki omusaadde abataliba?
Omusaadde yena n'agireeta. Omukazi it's because eri abantu abakibona obubi nti abakazi oba bakola bate, but women we are very strong. We are very strong. Omukazi ng'ozira mukazi atereza waka oligayigala. So she's an asset. We are assets.
Okay.
That's how we are engineered by God. Yeah.
Okay. So, Honorable, let's engage in scenario building of sort. What do you think would befall Uganda if these great men, the likes of Dr. Cheza Besigye, Obote, and Honorable Kwago were to die in prison based on their embeera y'obulamu eri kufaanana olwayo gundi Dr. Cheza Besigye tinali fey yesterday twali tubona gundi Honorable Lord Mayor Lukwago ng'embeera eri mu yungula amazzi. What do you think would befall Uganda if they died in prison?
You will see. Because everybody knows who the enemy is. And they know what to do.
Okay.
Yeah. People are angry. Their anger is palpable. But they know they are being set up for a bloodbath. They are being set up for a bloodbath so that they can take out a midway. You know, it's a genocidal plan that is in the works. So, it will happen the way it will happen. Yes.
What do you think it will take for Ugandans to wake up one day and say we are done with President Museveni?
But they are done. They are done. They are done. But they are not prepared to give him a reason. For bloodbath. If you want to know about bloodbath, look at Kasese. What had Kasese done? So the military infrastructure that they are building is about that. The D-Day. The D-Day. The D-Day scenario has been properly planned of course it will go wrong. But it is in the works and we know about it. Yeah.
Honorable, the cultural and the religious leaders have lately been outspoken on issues of human rights in the country. Is there anything more they can do about the government situation in the country?
They lost the plot. They lost the space. They lost the vantage point. They lost the mandate. They are not capable of doing what they are not capable of. It is asking too much.
Okay.
Yeah. It's up to them. If they want, let them. If they don't want, it's okay. We are on our own. We are on our own. Yes.
Okay.
Omwana mulekwa yenaza tuli ba mulekwa abotadaga nabo omulala bwaidha n'aba kwawo alioti balizi bwe babaku kwawo
Honorable, nga tumaliriza, Dozi President Museveni yaida yayogera ku eri Iwanga. Era ebimu ku bigambo byayogera Rivinga yakoba ati Inter-Religious Council ebeire emu pressuringa ku nsonga da President the Besigye, the Dr. Besigye n'abantu abandi. What was your reaction ku bigambo byayogera about Dr. Besigye, Miriam Matembe? Era ne bwe yali edolina ekirungi kyona kyona kye wali omusuubiramu, did you expect any better okusinziira ku bye yayogera?
Kasooka aba mukulayira ndowooza lwe yasiima okuboneka ku eri Abanayuganda oba omulundi ogwokusatu oba ogwokutaano twayongera bwakakasa nti awoiremu kyonka abandi bakoba ati tine Museveni gwe twamananga nga byonna byonna the end point nti awoiremu bana nayenda President Museveni ndina bino mpulira bubi okubimwogerako mpulira bubi mpulira muli ekintu nakanti bwene ati bwatusiibwire bwasiibwire eggwanga emboozi sebankaire tukabaya.
So that has been Honorable Salaam Musumba for you. My name is Agre Baba. I've worked with Elia on the camera. Let's meet again next time. We shall have another edition of this very mbozi ne Honorable Salaam Musumba kuba mbozi yempanvu ate owomeno yetagoluna ku lulambo okugimaliriza. Thank you.